Hello, everyone. A very, very hearty welcome to all of you today for the fifth session of Going Deeper. I hope you've all had a lovely day today and you're enjoying your meditations. Um, Sometimes it's a bit hard to keep up, uh, even with meditation. Our brain finds excuses. Sometimes you feel like, oh, I'm too tired. I just don't feel like doing a foot soak today, or maybe I'll do it tomorrow. So, if you feel like that, we've all been there, done that. Even after practicing Sahaja Yoga for so many years, that is a bit of a struggle that even we go through. But then you do realize after a while that, oh, I'm feeling a bit heavy. I haven't done my foot soak, or I didn't do my morning meditation. And maybe I'm getting annoyed because of that. Maybe things are getting to me because of that. Maybe you know uh, that's why my there's a buildup of all these emotions inside of me, and then you realize that I need to get back to meditation. I need to sort of do it again, and then you restart, and that's what we all do. So if any of you've been feeling like that, trust me, you're not alone. We all go through those phases and cycles where we feel like we're going up, high up, and then we find that there's a plateau, or sometimes we find like there's a dip, and then again you feel like you're going straight up in terms of your experience or how you're feeling with meditation. And but really, really happy and proud of how well you guys have done. You've kept up so well and been so motivated for most part of the journey, which is really, really commendable. So big round of applause for all of you for coming this far, because this is the fifth week of going deeper, of the total 7 weeks that are planned. So we only have 2 more weeks to go for this series. And we feel like we have grown so much with all of you today, up until today as well. So thank you with all our heart. Thank you for being on this journey with all of us, whether you're joining us live or watching the recording. It really means a lot to all of us who are working in presenting these sessions to all of you. So there is no breakout room today. It's a very simple session that we have planned for all of you today. And I will also be presenting today's session to all of you. So you're going to have to bear with me throughout the session. And so without further ado, let's begin today's session. And I'm going to give you a little bit of information of what we're doing shortly. But as always, when we are settled, it's important before we begin that we sit very, very comfortably. And we can take off our shoes, and make sure that wherever you're sitting, you're comfortable. You could be seated on a bed or a sofa or on the floor, on a chair, whatever is comfortable to you. That's important. And then let us just give our shoulders a bit of a rub, and then maybe just move our neck side to side and just try to breathe, breathe. So, uh, like I said, let's be comfortable. And maybe we can just take one deep breath before we begin. So let's breathe in, hold our breath, and breathe out slowly through the mouth. Breathe in, hold our breath, and breathe out. One more time. Breathe in, hold our breath, and breathe out. Let us begin by raising our Kundalini and putting ourselves into a bandhan. So we will slowly put ourselves into a bandhan, one knot. And then very intentionally, let's do it for the second time. A little bit slower this time. Slowly. And 2 knots. And very slowly, let's go up for the third time. 3 knots. And then let's build a rainbow 7 times. 1, slowly, take your time. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Let us fold our hands and gently bow our head. Jai Shri Mataji. Okay, so for today's session, I'm going to begin it with a bit of a story, and I'll try to make it as simple as possible. When I was doing my studies, I had a really, really good history teacher, and he used to teach history in a way that you would just remember everything without feeling the pressure, without hating the subject. It was more of a story. So, for example, if you go to a theater and you're watching a movie that you really enjoyed watching, then it's very easy to remember most part of that story and understand what it was, right? So I'm going to try and deliver today's session in a similar, very simple story format. So I hope you enjoy listening to it. And just try to um, see how much you can absorb out of it. So there's no pressure of remembering anything. So just try to listen and enjoy where we're going with this. And followed by that, we're going to be doing a meditation, listening to Shrimataji's talk, and finishing off with some music. Okay, so let's begin. The title for today's session is Messenger or the Message. So I read this quote a few days back, which became the inspiration for today's session, that religion is when you follow the messenger, the person who's giving the message. And spirituality is when you follow the message that they were trying to deliver. Now you weigh what is more important. There is, for example, an incarnation who came down on this earth. They took their births, whether it is Muhammad or it is Christ, whether it is Krishna or it is Buddha, whether it is Moses or it is Shri Vishnu or Shiva or Ganesha. Say, for example, any incarnation that came on this earth. And they had a very important message that they had to give you. What would be important? Do we remember the messenger and just follow the messenger? Or do we follow the important message that they came to deliver? That is basically the essence of today's title and today's session. Now, we all know that evolution is a very, very important part of who we are today. Now, if we believe in science, it says that we were apes in the beginning, and from apes, slowly and slowly, our evolution happened. We, at one point, the ape was able to stabilize its neck, put it up, and that is when this energy center got opened, very critical, very important energy center here, which is called the Vishuddhi. Now, this energy center is responsible for giving us the speech, our ability to be able to talk. It comes from this energy center right here. And this is a very important distinguishing factor from animals. That is how we get separated from the animal kingdom into a higher species, because we can communicate. Now, once we reached this part, then the other important evolutionary part was here on the forehead, which gave us our brain to think. It also developed our ego. And this ego is another very, very important distinguishing factor that separates us from the animal kingdom. Animals do not have any ego, but humans do. We can think for ourselves. We can plan for ourselves. We can put our interests forward. And that is why we have an ego. And we are not like animals. So these two things really became critical in our physical evolution, and we became humans. Now let's go back many, many thousands of years when these early men, as we know them, were just hunters and gatherers. Basically, they led a life where they would just live on very fundamental things, which is basically protection. So they don't get killed themselves, whether it is by an animal or by the nature. And then second was to be able to eat. So they were foraging food, hunting, gathering, and then basically they decided to they found out the women basically in that society found out that they can they got a bit tired, like they were obviously also having offsprings, right? They were having children, and then they decided that they're going to settle down because the women could not keep up with the hunting and gathering. And that's how they found out that, you can the trees that you pluck the fruits from basically keep growing fruits again, or that animals can give you milk and give you food. They can also help you in tending to life. And that's how they decided to settle. It became a bit more settled, and then men decided that they're going to be looking after the family, they'll be producing the food, they'll be hunting, and they decided to become a more settled organization. But do you think evolution would have stopped there? That no, right? There's constant evolution happening. Now, what is evolution? Evolution is when there is scope for more growth. Now, from being settled, they decided that you're growing whatever food, but that somebody else is growing something else, and then the barter system came in. See, evolution was happening again, and then they basically started exchanging food and evolving further, and society was developing slowly and slowly. The institution of marriage developed, having children, having a family system, all of that was a part of evolution in that time. Now, this was all done to develop a society, to develop some rules in the society. Then rules were made so that people would not disturb each other physically or not abuse each other and things like that. So laws were created. While all of this was happening, a lot of physical evolution was happening, a lot of mental evolution was happening. But then there is a limit to which that can happen, correct? Slowly, slowly, let's say the society came to a point where all of that evolution happened. Now what? What is the next step that could have happened? This then came the spiritual evolution that was also happening in the interim from the inside. Now, this is something that humans could not understand at that time. Okay, let's look at this in a hypothetical situation, and let's try to understand what I mean by saying that. Children are born with all the qualities. We told you in the first session that every human is born with all the qualities that the divine wants in an ideal person. So, for example, a seed, which is a dry seed, it basically has the DNA, it has everything, it has all the germinating qualities in it. All you have to do is put it in the soil, in the Mother Earth, and give it some water and some good sunlight, and it will germinate. We basically cannot do anything in that process, correct? In the same way, every child is born with all those qualities intact that the divine wants in that. Just like the seed has all the germination qualities, a human baby has all those qualities in them. But then, what is the joy of life? What is the purpose of life if there's no drama? Then the drama was created. The drama was that as the child is going to be born, slowly and slowly by the age of 5, the ego is going to develop. And when that ego develops, the child is going to slowly, slowly forget the qualities that it already has within. And then starts your journey of life. You're leading your everyday life. You are becoming worldly wise. You are tending to all the things you have to do. You're using your right side for your action. You're using your left side for your emotion, for your desire. And then in tandem, while using your left and right side, you are living your life every day as it comes. And that's applicable to all of us. Now, in this journey of life, we slowly forget some virtues, imbibe some vices, because life, sometimes you have to protect yourself. So you're like, no, I'm going to put my ego here because I have to guard myself. Or that person wasn't generous with me, I'm not going to give him anything. So you forget your virtue of generosity. Or maybe if I give this to somebody, I won't have enough for myself. Again, your generosity is gone. Oh, that person was very, very harsh with me. And then your heart closes. Oh, I'm not going to talk to that person, and I'm not going to be nice to them because they were not nice to me. Or, oh, I'm really angry, so I'm going to dump all my frustration on my family or my friends. Or life is so hard, and I'm not going to be nice to myself. Oh, I did something nasty, I'm feeling really bad, I shouldn't have said that, I've collected guilt, and things like that. This is the circle of life. And that is how you collect all these problems day by day. Some collect a few problems, some collect many problems. And that's how we are all different yet same. Okay. Now starts your spiritual evolution. Now, spiritual evolution is to gain back what you had. So now the divine thought, the humans are forgetting the core values that they were born with. But we need to remind them, because the divine always wants to protect the creation. We are creation of divine. We have to remember that. An artist never destroys his painting. An artist never destroys his creation. So the divine thought, okay, let me one by one send my messengers on earth to instill that value again into the society so they can remember this is how they should be. This is how, one by one, incarnations, you may call them, prophets, you may call them, deities, you may call them, any word. But these are the messengers of God that started coming on this earth one by one. And then their sole purpose was to remind you of who you are, the DNA with which the divine has created you, the qualities with which the divine has created you, so that your spiritual evolution can start, so that you can remember what your potential is and who you can be in your full caliber. That is the purpose. Now, in that process, the first quality that the divine said that without which life cannot sustain is innocence. So that is the first virtue that the God decided to bring on the earth. That is the one that you see in red. It is called innocence. Now, this is where we told you the story of the birth of Sri Ganesha last week, how Goddess decided to create a child for her own protection. And how, again, story of the divine, the play of divine, how the child gets beheaded in the scheme of events and ends up getting the elephant head. Now, if we stop using our brain and stop thinking about, oh, that's so bad that the little child got beheaded, let's just stop thinking about that. But let's understand why that happened, the significance of why that happened. The significance was that little Ganesha was supposed to get the elephant head. Why? Because animals, as I just described, don't have ego. And that means that the eternal innocence of the child was maintained, because the only thing that can destroy the innocence is ego. So Sri Ganesha is the eternal child and embodies that innocence, complete innocence. That was the first one. Then after the innocence was created, then the divine said, let the creation begin. So then we come to the second virtue, which is creativity. Now, the story of creation is that the God was resting, and his feminine Shakti, his half, as we call it, uh, she thought, which is the feminine energy of the divine, she thought she wanted to create something for her Lord to please him. So she decided to separate from him and then create the entire universe. So the the Shakti, which is basically the desire of God, separated from God and started the creation, and the whole universe was created. Now, the physical manifestation of this creation is called as Brahma. If you go back to the ancient Indian scriptures and the Indian culture, you will find that this power of creation is called as Brahma. All right. So, Brahma is the creator of the universe. And he basically created not just the universe, but also created this tree of life, this subtle system as we see within humans also. And again, that's why this tree of life or this subtle system becomes very, very integral. It is a living process. And this manifests inside us as the creative power to be able to enlighten each other. Now, you might think creativity also means the only living creation that humans do is give birth. But really, can we give birth on our own in a decided format? Can we say, okay, I'm going to have kids and have kids straight away? Some might not. The reason is because this creation of children is also in the hands of divine. It's a blessing of divine. We don't know how the baby is created inside us. We don't know the process that happens. I mean, there's scientific evidence of how a baby and a fetus is developed, but really, we do not know into anything about how children are born. So this is the second part of creation. And our physical manifestation of that is, of Brahma, as we call it, is to be able to uh, give enlightenment to each other. And that was the message of Brahma. Then, when we move further up on the third energy center, which is called peace, this energy center is the Nabhi chakra. Now, this is where Sri Vishnu incarnated. Vishnu was the Lord of evolution. And that is why this energy center is also a very evolutionary center. Now, this is where the manifestation of peace and generosity takes place. Now, in again, going back to a lot of this knowledge also comes from the ancient Indian scriptures. Vishnu's power is Lakshmi. Lakshmi, as some of you might know, is the goddess of peace, and some people also associate her with wealth. But what is the wealth? The wealth is the generosity. The wealth is what you can share, not what you can hoard and keep in your houses, in your bank accounts. That is of no use if it is not coming to any purpose. So, this was the quality that was manifested with the incarnation of Vishnu and his power as Lakshmi, where they basically give you the quality of peace, and they also give you the quality of generosity. They give you the quality of satisfaction, because true wealth will always give you satisfaction from within. And then, but again, as these days we are in a rat race where people say you cannot be satisfied. We are setting goals after goals, moving from one thing to the other. Why? Because that's what the world has taught us. It is teaching us not to be satisfied. But what is the point of having things if you cannot be satisfied with them? So, again, the incarnation of Sri Vishnu was to remind you that you have to be satisfied. You have to feel peaceful from within. Now, then comes the next level of evolution, which is this green circle that we see called the void. Now, this is where the ocean of illusion is. Now, a lot of incarnations had to come to basically take us through this ocean of evolution, because after this, you would be reaching your heart. And the heart is a very important energy center. That is the house of the spirit within. So, for that reason, 10 incarnations came. We had Raja Janak, we had Sri Abraham, we had Sri Zarathustra, Sri Moses, Sri Lao Tse, Sri Confucius, Sri Socrates, Sri Muhammad, Sri Guru Nanak, and Sri Sainath of Shirdi. You might have heard of some of them, and you might not have heard of some of them, and that's absolutely fine. But these 10 primordial masters who came were basically, they came as gurus. Again, they realized that the important thing was to remember that you have to understand that all these qualities have to be awakened within. So time and again, they came back to give you different teachings, to evolve you from your shortcomings at that time. The important thing to remember here is that every incarnation came with a beautiful message that they had to deliver. But unfortunately, we made religion out of all of them. And in that religion, nothing's wrong with having a religion, but in that religion, we sometimes end up forgetting the message that they were trying to deliver. So if you have the freedom to imbibe all the beautiful messages that different people came to teach, why not? Why not? Why confine yourself to one teaching when you can learn from so many and imbibe them within you as qualities, as growth? So all these beautiful primordial masters came with beautiful teachings. And then, like I said, we just look at them as religion now. And we don't even try to find out what did Sri Guru Nanak try to teach, or what was the teaching of Lao Tse, or what was the teaching of Moses. What were they trying to tell us when they came on this earth? So that is why it is also called the ocean of illusion, because in these 10 teachings, we sometimes get lost. We sometimes get involved and we can't really move out. And that is the illusion. But once you simplify it and say, look, I'm just going to try to understand all these teachings and make it a part of my life and better myself, this ocean is the ocean that carries you forward. So, you can say when you're, say, for example, you've been thrown on the deep end of the ocean and you are fighting for survival, all you do is you try to flap your hands and you're trying to just stay afloat, put your head up above the water. But then you realize if you stop doing that, you automatically float. When you surrender, the ocean carries you. The ocean makes you float. And then, basically, in essence, the illusion gets drifted away. It moves out of the picture. And then you can see clearly that these are 10 teachings. These are the 10 commandments that you can imbibe in your life. Again, imbibe the message. And don't be in the illusion with the messenger. All these messengers were divine. All of them had vibrations. They were all realized. They were sent by divine. We just need to remember the message that they try to give to all of us. Now, when this illusion is gone away, you can move forward to a very important center, which is the heart. This is where love is. This is where your compassion is. And this is also the heart, the house of your spirit. This is where your spirit resides. It's very important, very, very critical. This is the energy center where Sri Rama, with his Shakti, Sri Sita, resides, where Sri Shiva and his Shakti, Gauri, resides. And in the center, as the goddess, the fearless goddess, Jagdamba, resides. Now, if you don't know these names of these incarnations, again, it's absolutely fine. You can always research later. We can always provide you with information later. But the essence is what you need to remember here and understand here. That these deities incarnated to open your heart, to make you fearless, to make you understand what it means to be responsible and how much responsibility you actually have. Sometimes we overburden ourselves with responsibilities. That is also not right. Sometimes we don't care, and that's also not right. Sometimes we are too afraid and we're trying to protect our heart all the time. That insecurity is also not right. And sometimes we are too attached, and that is also not right. What this center is supposed to do is to give you the right values. When you lead a life of principles, morals, you automatically gain strength in your heart because you know you're in the right. You're in the right place doing the right thing. When you're in the right place, it automatically gives you detachment. It makes you free from everything, even though you are involved in life, even though you're leading a life doing everything that you're supposed to do. But it gives you that freedom to enjoy without being afraid, without being attached, and without feeling responsible. Those are the qualities, the messages that these incarnations came to give you. Next, we move further up. This is the quality of collectivity that comes in your Vishuddhi, in the fifth energy center. Now, this is where Lord Krishna incarnated. Now, Lord Krishna is the Lord of diplomacy. Again, this is also going back to the Indian scriptures. He is the Lord of diplomacy. He is the one that gives you a very sweet tongue. He gives you the right words to say. He gives you the quality to be collective with everyone. There is a very beautiful ancient saying called Vasudeva Kutumbakam. Vasudeva is also Lord Krishna's other name. Sorry, his Sanskrit name is Vasudeva. And Vasudeva Kutumbakam means the world is my family. See, such a beautiful quality of collectivity. He teaches you how to have sweet countenance, how to talk in a way that people will listen, how to get into the hearts of people directly, not into the brain, into the hearts of people, how to be in maryadas, yet harbor a beautiful relation of brothers and sisters with your world, which is your family. So all these things manifest so beautifully in these energy centers. And it also removes the guilt that we collect. So all these things are, again, going back to all these incarnations and all the religions that are created out of all these incarnations. I'm just putting it out there that these were the beautiful teachings, the messages, and these are the qualities and why they're all integrated. From here, this was the bottleneck. Now we're moving further up to another very critical center, which is the forehead, which leads us to one of the most recent incarnations, which is Jesus Christ. Now, Christ had to incarnate on this energy center to open this very, very tight forehead. Now, this is where the ego is. You remember? The only challenge to all these qualities is the ego that humans have. This ego separates humans from animals, as I had told you before. This ego gives us the freedom to make choices. It gives us the brain, the thinking, the critical thinking, the analyzing, the overanalyzing, the reason why we question everything. It's this brain. Now, it's not easy to open the brain. It's not easy to make people understand things easily, which is why Christ had to incarnate. Now, you would think it was so unfortunate what happened to him. It was unfortunate that he was crucified. It was unfortunate that people didn't listen to him. He had a very short life of 3.5 years, public life of 3.5 years, where he was trying to give his teachings. And then he was crucified. But that crucifixion was also important, just as the beheading of Lord Ganesha was important, because he had to rise after being crucified, and he had to forgive everyone, let people know that even though so much wrong had happened to him, he still forgave everyone. And this forgiveness was very important to open your brain, to open this very critical part of your spiritual body where ego and conditionings reside. When you forgive and let go, your ego starts coming down. When you forgive acceptance comes in. That means you become flexible and your conditionings go down. Now, just as Ganesha was created by just the primordial Shakti, similarly, Christ was born to Virgin Mother Mary, which is why we told you in the last session that Ganesha and Christ are basically the same. Ganesha reincarnated as Christ to open this very, very important energy center, which is forgiveness. And that is his teaching, very, very important teaching. And from here, we come to the end of our subtle evolutionary path, which is the integration. And this integration can only happen when this primordial kundalini at the bottom, this power within us, which was put into us when we were born, you can call it like the divine DNA within us. It goes off to sleep when we are about 5 years of age and our ego is developing. And then when you get your self-realization, this divine DNA awakens and it starts nourishing all these qualities, opening you up from within, making you evolve spiritually. And it comes to your fontanelle bone, which is the top of your head here. It opens it up and you get your enlightenment. This is no normal happening. And this is something that no normal human can give you. This is something that Srimataji came down for. She came as the queen of Sahasrara to give you your self-realization, to tell you how simple it is, yet how complicated it is. And she opened this path, this end, this final center, so you can grow in your spiritual ascent. And in this blossom time, which is today, the time of confusion, you can get your self-realization. So you can integrate and manifest all of this within you. And that is the story of creation and the story of how we've reached where we are in terms of our evolution, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. So I hope you enjoyed this part and you could absorb some of it within you. On that note, let us quickly have a small meditation. Followed by that, we will listen to Srimataji's talk. So before we get into it, let us just close our eyes for a minute and just think about what a powerhouse we have within us in terms of our subtle system. What a powerful creation a human being is, and how strong this kundalini is within us. It can heal everything. It can nourish every energy center. It can instill you with all these beautiful qualities and remove all these negativities, all these vices and problems from within us. We are just going to keep our hands in our lap like this. We're not doing any hand gestures. We're just going to sit comfortably with our hands in our lap, palm facing upwards like this. If you feel like closing your eyes, you can. Or you can just look at Srimataji's photograph on the screen. And with all our heart, with this knowledge that we have gained today, let us just say with full confidence, Srimataji, please make me innocent like a small child. Please awaken the innocence within me. Please awaken Sri Ganesha within me. Let's put our attention on the second energy center, which is the Swadhisthana. Shmataji, please awaken the qualities of Brahma within me. Give me the pure knowledge of creation. And let me be creative so I can awaken these qualities in others. Give me the wisdom to understand the right and the wrong. Let us bring our attention slowly on the third energy center, which is the Nabhi Chakra, the energy center of peace, satisfaction, and generosity, also responsible for our evolution. Shrimataji, please awaken Sri Vishnu and Lakshmi within me. Help me evolve into a better person, into a spiritually awakened being. Please make me peaceful from within, joyous from within, generous and kind from within. Please awaken the quality of satisfaction within me. Open this path of evolution within me so I can imbibe all this wisdom, all this new knowledge. Shrimataji, please awaken the 10 primordial masters within me. Sri Muhammad, Sri Lao Tse, Sri Confucius, Sri Guru Nanak, all the 10 primordial gurus, and help me imbibe all the beautiful virtues and qualities that they were trying to teach. Awaken these 10 commandments, these 10 gurus within me so I can cross this ocean of illusion. And let us bring our attention on our heart. Shamataji, open my heart So there is only love and compassion in there. Love for everyone, for every human being, for every brother and sister I have in this world. Instill the qualities of Jagdamba, the fearless goddess, within me. The goddess who has defeated every evil, who is fearless and courageous. The goddess who gives me the antibodies to fight all evil and all negativity within me. Nurture the qualities of Sri Shiva and Parvati within me, who give us detachment. Nurture the qualities of Sri Ram and Sita within me, who teach me the maryadas, the values of life, the responsibilities, who teach us how to do the right thing. And when these deities are there, these incarnations are there, these qualities are there, my spirit is enlightened. My spirit shines within. Shrimataji, please awaken Sri Krishna in my Vishuddhi, which is my fifth energy center. And establish his qualities of divine diplomacy, sweetness, selectivity within me. They instill the dignity in me, the confidence in me. And all these qualities, they give me the strength of character, the maryadas, the virtues. They give me the confidence to stand on truth. They take away all the guilt and all the negativity that separates us, creates feuds within us, creates small groups within us. Shri Krishna removes it all. So Shri Mataji, bless us with the divine sweet countenance. And now, let's bring our attention on the sixth energy center, which is on the forehead, the Agya Chakra. Mother, please establish the qualities of Christ within us. The one who was devoted to his mother and his father. The one who forgave despite everything. So let us all have the virtue of forgiveness within us. Forgiveness that melts all our conditionings and melts all our ego. Gives us a new start in life, a fresh start in life, a fresh perspective to life, with an open heart and an open mind. Shri Mataji, please open our Agya Chakra. and forgive us for all our mistakes we may have done knowingly or unknowingly, and help us forgive everyone. This is also the energy center of Lord Buddha and Mahavira. Shrimataji, please imbibe within us the qualities of Shri Buddha and Shri Mahavira. And finally, let's bring our attention on the integration of all of these qualities on our Sahasrara. Let us bring our right hand, palm on our fontanelle bone. Just gently massage it clockwise with a little bit of pressure. And with all our heart and humility, with full faith and surrender, let us pray. Shrimataji, please come on our Sahasrara and open the gate of heaven so we can all be integrated, so we can all be one on our evolutionary path. Let us just bring our hands back in our lap. Just be in meditation for a couple of minutes with some music, and we will listen to Shrimataji's talk straight after this.
You have to know that you all have been seekers before. This is not the first time you have been seeking. So already you have reached a certain state where you feel and you are aware that something more has to happen to you. You are already ready for that. Some of you have really taken birth in this time just for this. So because I do not want to talk of your past is over now, we have to think of the present. One has to know that all of you get realization. Some people have certain problems on their different centers, as I told you. Different type of problems people have. Because of these problems, the Kundalini goes back to its attention, because Kundalini has to look after your problems. She's your mother. So she goes there, attends to that problem, and again she rises. But only thing you have to learn how to make her rise, how to cooperate with her, how to understand your own problem and give additional help to solve the problem. Now you will be amazed that you just get rid of your false identifications with yourself. You become absolutely detached from that, because you start talking in the language of chakras and centers. You start saying that this center is bad, that center is bad, this is not alright mother, that's wrong with me, that is wrong with me. That's all. You don't say I'm cancer, you don't say I'm mad, you don't say I'm egoistical. You just say, mother, this center is not alright, that center is not alright. Depending on the quality of your centers, the chakras, as they are the ones who really are the channels for the energy of God to flow in. Regarding them, you have to be careful. How your chakras are. Are you clean or not? Some of you will find cool breeze flowing all right in the hand. But maybe one chakra is catchy. On one chakra you will feel the heat, or you may feel the numbness. You might feel also a kind of a you can say a kind of a tingling on certain fingers. Now wherever there is tingling, you must know there is a kind of a struggle going on between those chakras and the Kundalini. So you should just try to help your chakras to awaken them. And also must know that every one of you are part and parcel of the whole. You are awakened. You are awakened to that part. And so you have to be more careful. Because if you suffer from some chakra, I can feel it. But if others, those who are not realized, I don't feel it at all. I'm not bothered. There can be any number of devils or anything, doesn't matter to me. But if you people who are realized souls have a slight problem, immediately I know that you have this problem, my attention is diverted to that. So you must understand that the attention is all the time there to look after you, to give you a better guidance. Your spirit is all the time working. But you must learn how to take the guidance from your spirit. That's the main point. So nobody is lower or higher, as he said. I have seen some people who were declared as drunkards, this, that, overnight they are finished. They are perfect people. Not only but very good surgeons. So, you see, all these clouds have come on the sky of your being in this lifetime, doesn't matter, makes no difference. But your past is great, that's shown. So you don't have to worry as to how far aware you are. There's no degree or anything to measure it. You must be all aware already, otherwise you would not come to me, first of all. And to get realization itself is a very big thing. Now there is a very good seeker I know of who came to me, and he got his realization, but he did not feel it on his hand. Because he has a very bad Vishuddhi here. And with a bad Vishuddhi chakra, you may not feel it in your hand, doesn't matter. But you will feel peaceful, you will feel joyful, and you can feel it on your top of your head, or others can feel it. Gradually your fingers will start improving, and they will give you better results. For example, people who do hard work with their hands, also their fingers can be numbed. So we have to use certain methods like looking after our hands. This body now is a temple of God. So we have to look after it in a way respectfully. Not for the way the prostitutes, when they want to sell their body, they look after their body. No, but with respect to our body. We have to look after ourselves in a way that we should keep good health. And to keep good health in Sahaja Yoga, there are 1001 things which you have to know, which is very easy to understand and which will be told to you for no price at all, nothing. It is the divine that is anxious, that you should get it, that you should settle down, that you should enjoy. So you don't have to be so anxious about it. These anxieties must be given up. Just try to understand your centers. Now many of you did feel the cool breeze, but maybe after some time you may lose it, doesn't matter. You'll go up and down like that, doesn't matter. It does not mean that you have lost it, not at all. Now supposing you try a method, a simple method, that you first put your left hand towards my photograph. Just now you can try. And right hand on the Mother Earth. Let's see. Right hand on the Mother Earth. That's why I wanted to have it in the open, but doesn't matter now. If rain is good for you, for the farmers, let's have it. So now put your left hand like this, and right hand, those who are not sitting can put up like that. Like this. Back. Yes. Right hand like this. Right. Not left, right hand. Fine.
On the ground. No, like this.
Backwards, yes, right hand. Now what we are doing, the left hand side power is the emotional power. Now if you have an emotional problem, say somebody has been taking drugs, is a left-sided person. Some drugs are LSD and all that right-sided, but most of the drugs take you to the left side. Gurus are left-sided problems. Most of these problems or mental problems are left-sided problems. But the problem of the intellectuals is right-sided. Futuristic people is right-sided. People who are running the rat race are right-sided. See, that kind of overactivity, that kind of thing. On the contrary, those who have taken to drugs are left-sided.
Let us just continue to be in a state of meditation. We've taken a journey of evolution worth thousands of years in this small little meditation today. Everything has led us to where we are. To awaken this divine gale force within us, which is very, very ready to nourish and look after us, to nourish all our cells, all our energy centers, to give you the peace and the tranquility for which we have all taken our birth. Let's just gently open our eyes. I hope you enjoyed today's meditation, and I hope uh, this session was able to put the picture together of what it is, uh, how far we have come in this lifetime, journey that we've all taken, the divine has taken us through to understand how precious it is what we have and how much capacity we have to come to our full potential. So on that note, let us finish our session for today by raising our kundalini and putting ourselves into a bandhan. So we will slowly raise our kundalini. One knot for the second time. Two knots. Very slowly for the third time. Three knots. And let us build the rainbow around 7 times. Jai Shri Mataji. Thank you so much for joining us today. And in the next session, we will be teaching you the Sanskrit mantras, as we call them. There are some mantras that we have on each energy center that is very, very helpful to open that energy center also. By all means, we can still use the affirmations. They are just as powerful. But if you would like to learn a little bit more, as we are trying to take you through a journey of going deeper every day, we will also be trying to teach you the mantras. Again, I'm just reiterating, you do not have to try to memorize anything, just have to feel it. And slowly, slowly, it will get instilled and you will remember things that you need to remember. So thank you again. It was lovely to have you today. Lovely to have your company for today's session. We've opened the chat in case you want to share how you feel. And we will see you next week on Wednesday. And we'll leave you with some music now. Just enjoy.
Jai Shri Mataji. अनोभूद्यहङ्कार चेतानेनाहं न चाश्रोत्रजीवे न चाघ्राणनेत्रे न चाव्योमभूमिर्न तेजो न वायो चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् न चाप्राणसंज्ञो न वै पञ्चवायो न वै सप्तधातुर्न वा पञ्चकोशा न वाक्पाणिपादं न चोपस्थपायु चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् न मे द्वेषरागो न मे लोभमोहो मदो नैव मे नैव मात्सर्यभावः न धर्मो न चार्थो न कामो न मोक्षः चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम्